welcome, bienvenidos, benvindos to this free webinar organized by Docsity and Bocconi University. My name is Lucia, and in behalf of Docsity, I welcome you to this event. We have, as I was saying, an excellent panel. We are going to listen to the presentations of Mario Tabarini, Head Guidance and Recruitment from Bocconi, Stefano Raimondi, also Guidance and Recruitment at Bocconi, Lorenzo Barbati, Executive Director at GV Angels Investments. We will also have the presentation of Federica Botelli, Team Leader and Brand Strategy Consultant at Future Brand São Paulo, and also Paula Flores, CEO at CHEP Latin America and Chapter Leader, Bocconi Alumni Community, Mexico City. So I see that we have a lot of attendants already joining us in this webinar. I know that some of them will join us later, but in the meantime, I don't want to keep you waiting, so I will say we can start right away. So I leave the floor to our panel.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lucia. Welcome, everybody. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. My name is Mario Tabarini. I'm in charge of the guidance and recruitment activities at Bocconi University. So it's a great pleasure to be here with you tonight. We're based in Milan, Italy. Here it's 11 p.m., so a bit later than in Latin America. So it's a great pleasure. I'm here with my colleague Stefano and also Chiara. So I will start with the agenda. Stefano, if you can share the screen. Thank you so much. So we will have tonight, as Lucia anticipated, we will have a presentation of Bocconi. So I will go, here we go. Yeah, I will go talking about Bocconi, about the academic offer, about our asset, and then Stefano will go deeper into the admission processes, fees, funding, housing, living in Milan, living in the campus. And then we have the pleasure to have tonight three of our distinguished alumni in the region. Lorenzo, Federica, and Paola. Lorenzo and Federica are based in Brazil, now working in Brazil. Paola is working in Mexico City. And then at the end of their testimonies, we will have a short Q&A. But in the meanwhile, if you want to ask questions, you will be answered in the chat by Chiara. So let me start with Bocconi. I'm pretty sure you know what we're talking about, but let me give you a bit of history here. So Bocconi was funded back in 1902 by an entrepreneur, and it was the only university granted, the first and the only university granting a degree in economics and commerce in Italy at that time, and it's been the only one for about 50 years. So this leading position is still existing today. And Bocconi also believes that internationality is part of our DNA. So we started the exchange program. The first one was with New York University in the States back in 1974, so about 50 years ago. And it was so ahead of time, I would say, because the Erasmus program in Europe, the student mobility program, was created in 1987. Also, Bocconi has been international in the sense that created the first bachelor program fully taught in English in our country, in Italy, back in 2001, the Bachelor of International Economics and Management, which is still existing today. Today, Bocconi is a mid-sized university, around 15,000 students. We don't teach every discipline. We teach social sciences, a broader, let's say, social sciences disciplinary area, and I will talk about that in a minute. Internationality, as said, is in our DNA. We have on campus every day 4,000 international students who are non-Italian, in addition to another 2,000 students who are here on exchanges and double degree. To give an idea, in the undergraduate, let's say September intake this year, we had 61% of the students of the degrees taught in English, which are the large majority, were coming from outside Italy. So 61 from outside Italy, 39 from Italy. So truly international universities, over 100 nationalities represented on campus. You see here the top 5: France, China, Germany, Turkey, of course, and USA. Latin America is coming up. Brazil in particular has been in the top 10 countries now for the undergraduate programs. Bocconi rankings. Bocconi is positioned Generally speaking, it's about in top 20 in the world and top 5 in Europe. But if you take off the UK university, so if you consider only the European Union, in all the QS rankings, from economics to econometrics, to accounting and finance, to marketing, to management, we are number one. So ahead of us, there are only Cambridge, Oxford, sometimes LSE or LBS. So in continental Europe, in the European Union, we are number one. But it's not only about the Financial Times, the QS rankings, Higher Times, education, anything. We're also very good in doing research. So in the European research grants, which are the grants given to the faculty members throughout Europe, we are number one in the area related to the business and social sciences. And this is very interesting because not all the universities are top in the rankings, like the Financial Times rankings, at the same time are very top in research too. And we're proud to be on both, let's say, aspects of these of a university, let's say, quality, standard quality elements, such as the research and the teaching. So international again, we have a network of 286 today universities. We do exchanges, we do double degrees, and basically we combine the quantity of opportunities. So over 2,000 students every year go abroad on exchange to the quality of the opportunities, meaning that in every continent we have the top schools, business schools, political science department, economics department, or law schools in that part of the continent. For example, in Latin America, we have the top 10 schools are our partners, but in any continent. Employers. So Bocconi was founded by an entrepreneur. Ferdinando Bocconi was an enlightened entrepreneur, a philanthropist. He decided to put money on education, and it was in the textile industry. Of course, Bocconi is based in Milan, where fashion, textile is a big part of the business here. Still today, we are very close to the business community. Over 4,000 employers are connected with us every single day. As a result, we have offered last year 11,700 placement and internship offers. So every Bocconi students receive more than one offer. And we take advantage of the community of the alumni, which is 140,000 all over the world. We have 76 chapters in each big city in the world. In Latin America, we have a chapter in Sao Paulo. We have here Paula from the chapter leader in Mexico City. We have chapters in Chile, in Peru. So we have very, very, very many chapters all over the world and create great opportunities for our students, for networking, for job opportunities. The placement is super good. It's about 80%. So on graduation day, so people already work before graduating, and 95.7 1 year after graduation. 2/3 live and work in Italy after graduation, and more than 1/3 work and live abroad. These data are on the Master of Science because 97% of our bachelor students do go for a master and do not go directly to the job market. But the ones who go directly to the job market have a placement which is very similar, even higher than this one, but is statistically less relevant. Top employers, here is the list. You see all the big names in consultancy, investment banking, in any industry that you may think of. We're placing your students all over the places. Academic offers. So let's start from the fields of study. So as I said before, Bocconi is not doing everything, every discipline. We don't do medicine, we don't do architecture, we don't do engineering. We do social sciences, and our, let's say, historical strength has been in management, finance, and economics. Of course, the management area. More recently, in the last 10, 15, 20 years, we've expanded on one side to the political sciences and law, and on the other side to the more, let's say, STEM disciplines like data science, mathematics for artificial intelligence. The Bachelor programs reflects these disciplinary areas. So we have courses in management, international economics and management is our management course. We have an arts management course. We've also have the World Bachelor in Business, which is a flagship program which leads to a triple degree unique in the world. It was created back in 2013 from 3 top universities in the in 3 areas of the world. For the Americas, we have the University of Southern California, the Marshall School of Business, a top 10 undergraduate business program in the US. In Europe, Middle East, and Africa, we have Bocconi, and in Asia, we have Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, the business school, which is top 3 in that part of the world, in Asia. And this leads to a 3 degree in 4 years. All the other programs are 3 years because in Italy, we have a bachelor by law. A bachelor has to be 3 years, but the validity of the bachelor of the 3 years is exactly the same of a bachelor of 4 years. We still have some degrees in Italian, but the last majority are in English. For example, in finance and economics, we only have programs in English. In data science and artificial intelligence, we have programs in English, and in political science as well. Big new achievement. Last year, we started a double degree with HEC in Paris, the very important French school, in political science, but with a focus on data society and organization. We also started last year a bachelor in global law of 3 years. So we still have the 5 years Italian law degree, which is meant to train students who will then become lawyers in our country. But we do have a global law program of 3 years, which is very useful for the students who want to enter the job market in the legal offices, for example, of multinational companies. And that is a brand new course as well. The BSc program structure at Bocconi, so the bachelor program is 3 years. Basically, in the first year, you do all the compulsory courses, which are very similar for each degree course. So mathematics, statistics, micro, law, computer science. Then in the second year, you do your specialization. So if you've chosen finance, you do finance. If you've chosen management, you do management, and so on and so forth. The third year is most flexible. You have electives, you do an exchange program. As I said before, we have many opportunities. You do an internship as well, and then you have a final report to present, to submit before graduating. The Master of Science program in Italy are by law 2 years, okay? Again, we have all the areas, specialization area that we mentioned at the beginning, but then you go more specialized. For example, in the management area, you have marketing, you have innovation and technology. For the finance, you also have accounting. So you go deeper into the disciplines. Here you see all the list. I'm not going through all that. Only a couple of mentions. The International Management Program is the one ranked in the top 15 by the Financial Times. The finance programs as well. The economics program is very well recognized. We have all the top, for example, economics department in the US hire students from this master because it's very rigorous and very good. Finance program again is super top. If you have friends or people you know that are working, for example, in big finance centers like London, they will tell you that Bocconi is #1 school in placing students there. So it's really a wide offer in this area. The data science areas has been exploding, I would say, in the recent years. So we started some degrees with the top engineering school in Italy, which is the Politecnico di Milano in our city, and brand new data analysis and artificial intelligence for health sciences with the Humanitas University. Humanitas is a very relevant hospital here in Milano, one of the most important in Italy, which has a university, and that is more specific to the, let's say, applications and modeling of AI towards the health sciences. The structure of the Master of Science program is a couple of years, as I said before. The first year is compulsory courses, and the second year is what I call, let's say, an empty box that you have to fill, meaning that you can do an exchange, you can do a double degree, for example. We have 36 double degrees where you can spend first year in Bocconi and second year in a top school elsewhere and get 2 degrees. You do a mandatory internship. So this is my 2 cents on the 2 years masters versus the 1 year master. Of course, many people think, okay, 1 year master, like in other places like in the UK, it's faster. I enter earlier in the job market, but really, it's not so relevant to enter 1 year in advance in a job market when we will be working for many years, dozens of years. Instead, the 2 years master's gives the opportunity to enrich your curriculum. It's not only about academics. In 1 year master, you can do only academics. In 2 years master, you can do academics plus an internship plus an exchange plus a double degree. So your curriculum to the employer when you enter the job market will be much richer. And in fact, as I said before, 80% of our students already work on graduation day. So in the second year, they already start working before the end of the master. Let me leave the floor to my dear colleague Stefano for the admissions. Sorry, I went too fast. So for the admissions procedure, Stefano.
Thank you, Mario. Let me take the control back of the presentation. Okay, so at this point, you should be already willing to join our community and become of our students. So let's have a quick look of our procedure, and now you can become a Bocconi student. Let's start from the bachelor. As you have already seen, application probably different from what you are used to, but very straightforward. We only look at two main elements: your grade from second to last and third to last year, okay, junior year and sophomore year, grade 11 and 10 out of 12, or 12 and 11 out of 13, and this accounts for 45% of the selection. And then we want students to sit a test. You can choose among SAT, ACT, or our own test that can be taken online. For students interested in studying law and law only, starting from this year, you have a specific track where you can take advantage of the LSAT or a specific version of the Bocconi Online test dedicated to law programs, okay? And the test score will account for 55%. We will take the grades, we will take the test, we will put them together, and we will use them to rank you together with the other students. So the selection will be mainly based on competition, your performance compared to the one of the other students in the same session for the same courses. There's no minimum entry threshold, there's no fixed admission level. You apply on our portal. In Italy, we don't have a common portal like UCAS in the UK or Common App in the US. So you apply directly on Bocconi website. Our portal is applied to B stands, of course, for Bocconi. And you will be able to choose up to 4 programs in the management, economics, finance, political science area, plus if you want 2 programs in law, and there's another track for the double degree. You choose more than 1 program in order of preference. You will be evaluated for your first choice. If you're in, perfect. Otherwise, second choice, third choice, fourth choice. If you're not admitted into your first choice, you will be able to apply to the following session, if any available. There will be a checklist on the portal that will make the application very easy. You will need to submit some data and upload some documents like your transcript. The proof of the English knowledge, of the English proficiency, will be required after the admission. Okay, and there are different ways to do that, from certificates, studying a diploma entirely taught in English, but also Duolingo or our own testing platform. Okay. And when you can apply, so for the bachelor program, each year we have 3 sessions. We start selecting very early. The first round already passed, was in September, okay, with results out in November, okay. And let me mention that when you get an offer by Bocconi, it's an unconditional offer. So no matter what happened to your grades in the last year, if you have been admitted, you will still be. You just need to get your diploma. Next session, still a big one, will be November to January, with results out in March. And then there's a smaller one, March to April. It's a bit residual. So we encourage students to apply as early as possible. In case they need, they can reapply. But as you can imagine, the closer you get to the university start, the higher the competition, okay? For students in their junior year, so these rounds you see are for the start in September 2025. We have only one intake starting in September. These are for September 2025. If you're planning to join us in September 2026, you need to move everything forward of 1 year, but the suggestion remains try to apply as soon as possible. A couple of information about our test. You may expect a similar test in terms of content as the SAT. So mathematics, reading comprehension, numerical reasoning, critical thinking, above all for the, let's say, programs in the management, economics, and finance area. For law, you may expect a test that is a little bit less quantitative, but we are talking about the content. The structure is completely different. 50 questions to be answered in 75 minutes. The test is not really designed to be completed. It's designed to see how students manage time, how they manage pressure, how they manage strategy. They can skip questions, they can go back. And you will also get a penalty for wrong answer. So you cannot give random answer when the time runs out. It's that type of testing. Easier, more difficult, it really depends on you, and of course depends on how much you practice specifically for the test. But you're free to choose the one you prefer. Starting from this year, you can take multiple tests and upload one of each type, and we will choose the test score that places you higher in the ranking. And you can take it up to 3 times in an academic year, in an application year. In terms of diplomas, as you can see, we have more than 1/3 of students applying with the IB, a big French community here in Bocconi, but the majority, so more than half of the students apply with a national diploma. And depending on the diploma, our Ministry of Education may require additional requirements. So the full IB diploma for the IB, 3 A-levels for the British qualification, and 3 APs for the US diploma. In general, we want students to apply with at least 12 years of education. If you get your diploma after 11 years, you will need to complement your studies with 1 foundation year or 1 year of university in a system that allows you to join with 11 years. Diplomas released in December will be valid for the following year. This is common sense. If you get your diploma in December, you won't have your diploma ready for September, so you apply for the following year. And if in your system a qualifying exam to join the university is required, well, our Ministry of Education decided to trust your system and ask you to pass it also to study in Italy. And this can be the case, for example, of the ENM or the vestibular for the Brazilian students applying with the Brazilian diploma. Okay, it's the diploma that guides. On the other side, let's say a positive note, we don't have requirements in terms of subjects. So if you have a customizable study plan, you can choose the subject you prefer at the level you prefer. Our suggestion, if you can do something STEM, will be useful, not for the selection itself, but for the relocation to Bocconi. We have a quantitative approach, and so having some numbers on the back will make the start easier. But if not, no problem at all, because before the beginning of the first year, you can take max 3 courses to double check that you have all the necessary knowledge to start with us. The double degree with HSC Bocconi has a slightly different and more holistic type of application, not only grades and test score, but also CV, resume, a motivational letter. You will be able to do a video interview, and you have only 2 rounds. The first one already passed it as well. Second one will be slightly shorter than the standard one, but these are the section where you can apply for the HSC double degree. And different also the Work Bachelor in Business application. In this case, the application is in Common App because the first year is in the US. More listing. So again, video interview, essays, CV, resume, extracurricular activities will count more. The program went test optional during the pandemic, but having a test is still recommended. It's a small program, very selective, and every element that can add up to your profile is more than welcome. Only one session, deadline will be December the first, and then results in early April and May for the confirmation for the enrollment. And we will be happy to elaborate more on the special program maybe later on for the question. Similar in some ways, but different, the selection for the Master of Science. Again, you apply online on our website, and still grades from your bachelor and the test score of a test that you can choose among GMAT, GRE, and the Bocconi test are very important. But here also your CV, your experiences, a personal statement, and an optional video interview will be fundamental to convince the program director that has the last word on your admission. And program directors try to build consistent classes to help students get the most from their Master of Science. So also this part will be super important. You can apply up to 5 programs in order of preference, and again, the proof of English knowledge will be required after the admission. In this case, you have 5 rounds available. Basically, as soon as one finish, the following one will start, so it's almost rolling, and then you will be able to apply up to 2 times, okay? A similar suggestion, the earlier the better. We have special program as well, so double degrees with LSC or Sciences Po, they have separate deadlines and separate requirements, and again, we can elaborate more in the chat, or you will be able to find all the specific instruction on our website. There's a Bocconi test, Bocconi online test, very convenient also for the Master of Science, 80 minutes. You can take it up to 2 times, given the fact that you will be able to apply up to 2 rounds. Here you have the similar structure, so penalties for wrong answer, and you will be able to do it on our testing platform. Talking about financials, the first thing we want to underline that we want to have talented students, no matter which is their economic condition, okay? So each year, Bocconi contributes with more than 15 million euros in financial aid, in scholarship. We are a private university. We don't receive much support from the public. So these are Bocconi contribution to make Bocconi available to students that may not be able to afford. And 1 in 3 of our students receive some kind of support. This starting from, let's say, a starting price, starting fees that are very competitive for a top university at a worldwide level. 16,700 euros per year for the bachelor. The program is 3 years, so total cost will be around 50,000, total cost of the program, full program. And for the master, you may expect 80,200 euros per year. The program is 2 years, so again, around 36,000 euros. Very, very competitive price, very good return on investment, also having in the employment rate. But not only that, as I said, we want to support students that may not be able to afford this price. So we have both merit-based scholarship, above all for Master of Science students, but also for female students interested in areas like finance or STEM subjects. And then, of course, we have a full range of need-based scholarship that can cover partially the tuition and fee, like 20%, 40%, 60%, up to 80% or a full waiver. We offer support for all the experience that we really value, like study abroad program or internship, again, abroad. And European Union citizens can also get bank loans guaranteed by Bocconi from 2 of the biggest banks in Italy. So this also can be very convenient in case you need support to join our university. Being at Bocconi is not only studies, it's also fun. First of all, you will be able to live in Milan. You will be able to live in one of our dorms. We have around 2,000 places available in 7 dorms, a few of them just in front of the classroom building, maximum 15 minutes walking. Everything is very close. It's very convenient. All single rooms, which sometimes with share, sometimes with private bathrooms. When it's shared only with one person of the same gender. You get basic cleanings once a week and also 24-hour dormant. Okay, so all the admitted students apply together in May, and since our intake is slightly bigger, you will be able to apply online and the rooms will be assigned first come, first served. As I was saying, living in Milan, studies, but not only, having fun, networking, developing skills. We have more than 130 student associations dealing with all the passions students may have. From the most academic ones like consulting, investment, to anything else you may think, like fashion, food, wine tasting, or for example, inclusion, human rights, motorsport. Among the different clubs, you also have the sport clubs. We completed a new sports center in 2021, a 3-floor building with an indoor Olympic swimming pool, a gym, and the arena for our team. And since the completion of the sports center, we are continuously adding different teams: basketball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, water polo, swimming, golf, etc. There will be a lot of opportunity to practice sport, and sport can be part of your student life. We have a student media center managed by our students, a web TV, a web radio, and a newspaper, and also a lot of cultural events with many keynote speakers. So there's always something to do, opportunities to enrich you as a professional and as a person while you are at Bocconi. And then, of course, Milan, I may be a little bit biased because it's my city, but Milan is a great city. I want to underline a couple of facts. It's a young city. It's a city with more than 200,000 students studying in 8 different universities. Okay, a lot of events going on, a high quality of life for students. It's compact. It's easy to go around. There are events. There are good food. There's good food. So very high quality of life on one side. On the other side, it's a hub for many crucial industries. You may know fashion, you may know design, but also finance and many, many others. So it's a great place to put your first foot in the job market during your studies. And not only that, but Milan is placed in the middle of Europe and the Mediterranean area. So with 3-4 hours of local flight, you can visit places so different like Scandinavia, Morocco, Spain, UK, France, etc., etc. Super fun, but also super enriching, being exposed to all these diversity. And not to forget, Milan won the Winter Olympics together with Cortina d'Ampezzo in the Dolomites. They will be in 2026. So if you will be around, you will also have the chance to see that. And the Olympic Village will be built close to our university. Okay. So this is my point of view on Milan. And of course, you have heard a lot from me and from Mario about Bocconi. But we now want to share some, let's say, real life experience. So as we like to say, in their own words, our alumni that completed their studies at Bocconi and that continue their career in the region. So as you already heard, we will have Lorenzo, Federica, and Paola that will talk briefly about their experience. I'll unshare the slides so you can see them, and I'll start with Lorenzo from GVA Angels Investment in São Paulo. I can't hear you. Can you?
Are you listening to me?
Okay. Yes, now it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, great. Thank you, Stefano, Mario, Lucia, and Chiara to the invitation. Great to be here. Actually, I joined the Bocconi in September 2004. So it's been the 20th anniversary. I'm very happy to be here close to this date. And great. I'm from Bologna, and I studied at Bocconi. I studied the management program, and after a Master of Science in Management, and I had the exchange program in Brazil. I've been living in Brazil since 2010. I moved here. I had a career in consulting. After I had a period as an entrepreneur, I founded an ice cream company here in São Paulo and in Brazil between 2012 and 2020. And from 2020 to 2024, I get closer to venture capital, innovation, investment in startup world. And nowadays, I lead the GV Angels Group, which is an investment group which invests in startups, in technology startups. We already made around 60 investments, 50 million reais, which is around 10 million euros invested. And we had already 9 exit companies in our portfolio. So actually, having a look back my journey at Bocconi, it was a great movement. Actually, I'm from Bologna, which is a really good city. But like when I moved to Milan, I moved to Bocconi, I could for sure like get closer to a network of people with a different mentality, network of friends, which nowadays I am still in contact, and I'm still in contact. Somebody lives in Italy, somebody lives abroad, but actually gives you some like frameworks apart from all the technical parts where you can see as like one of the best universities in the world, but some like technical framework, some soft skills which are very important along your journey. So you develop a network of contact which in your future will be very, very, very important. So during also my 3 years period, and also during the Master of Science, where I had the exchange program was very important. So I'd say like it's a very important community. Like along your journey, if you have the opportunities like to meet different cultures and to join different groups of people, this will be an asset for your career, an asset for your personal development, because as Stefan and Mario said, probably you could start a year earlier networking, but the importance on the long term of this set of skills, of this relation that you can create is really valuable. So I have very good remembers every time I go back to Italy, go to Bologna, but I try to have also a touch point in Milan to see some friends, to get back to the university. So I'd really advise you to take this chance, this opportunity. And also I'm a big fan of ice sport, ski, ice sports in general. So it would be like a really amazing experience to be there during the Winter Olympics. So probably it's a very unique opportunity and a very good time.
Thank you, Lorenzo, first of all, for sharing your experience, for sharing your anniversary with us. It's super important, and also for underlining the importance of, among the other things, the exchange, as Mario was mentioning, you're investing sometimes in something that really matters. So let's stay in Sao Paulo with Federica for Future Brand. Can you tell us a little bit more about your experience?
Hi, Stefano. Thank you for the invitation, Mario and Chiara as well. I'm glad to be here. So I'm Federica. I'm Italian, but I moved to Brazil when I was 3 years old. So I grew up over here. And I did Bocconi back in 2014. So it's been 10 years. I decided for Bocconi because I wanted to do business. I was a little bit undecided between staying in Brazil or going to Italy. But when I decided to go to Italy, Bocconi was like my only choice because it's like the reference in Italy. They were very good years. So I did the bachelor program over there. I did Economia Aziendale and Management. I did the Italian course. And then I came back to Brazil. I did the Master of Science here at Fundação Getúlio Vargas in São Paulo. But I had a lot of colleagues from Bocconi as well, because it's a university which Bocconi has a partnership. And then when I moved back to Brazil, I think I had this gap between my friends in Brazil because I hadn't worked and I hadn't done any internship when I was in Bocconi. But that was not a problem at all because Bocconi, it's like a huge seal of quality. So I came back in August. In September, I was already working at the Dolce & Gabbana office here in Brazil. I always wanted to work with fashion, and Bocconi really helped me in that because besides living in Milan, which it's a city that like breeds fashion and design and art, it also has elective course on that. So I did an elective course on fashion business. I did my thesis about fashion brands and the connection with ESG. So it gave me the basis to work with a fashion brand. And then after a year, I wanted to expand my horizons and I started an internship at Future Brand. And I'm currently here. It's been more than 6 years. I did my career here. And we're a branding consultancy working with all types of industries. And nowadays I have a team here of strategists, designers, and copywriters working with different brands. And Bocconi was like one of my best choices. So if I can recommend you to you all, I saw there are a lot of Brazilians over here. It's very different from Brazilian universities, but I think we learn a lot of things that we miss here in Brazil. So like oral tests and group works, I think they're very enriching experiences towards like my colleagues here in Brazil. And I think the fact that Lorenzo also point out of the multicultural environment that you can live in Bocconi, it's like a huge difference from here as well. So during the elective courses, I did all of them in English, and I had the opportunity like to do groups with people from China, Russia, USA, all over Europe, and that was very enriching. So I had the chance to work with a lot of different points of view, which helped me a lot over at my work today. I worked a lot about collaboration, and I think also about going deeper on things. I think Bocconi really helps you to really study and go deep on stuff in a way which I think Brazilians university don't do. So I think that's it.
Thank you, Federica, for the warm description of your experience, and also for underlining another aspect. So after two alumni talking about network and connection, we can go to Paula, we can go to Mexico City, first of all, but also talking about connection and network to one of our chapter leaders, among other things you're doing. So Paula, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience and your maybe role now?
Yeah, thank you, Stefano, and thank you for inviting me to this important session. I'm very, very honored to be here and share a little bit about my experience in Bocconi. And I start from my my job. So I am currently the CEO of CHEP Latin America, which is CHEP is a multinational company with 6 billion turnover. We have 600 million in Latin America, so we are quite important for the group. And Bocconi helped me to get to this role, but I will talk to this later. So I was saying that I choose Bocconi because of the academic excellence that it offered, for the excellent reputation. No, Mario talked about the rankings, not only in Europe but all over the world. So it's recognized all over the world. So I chose it for this reason. But then I received much more, much more than the academic excellence that I was expecting, because I received I was saying, a great confidence in accepting a new role, because the new role was offered to me in 2020. And thanks to the preparation I had in Bocconi, I had a great confidence to accept it and to lead successfully the region so far. So we had 4 years of great successes, and this could not be possible without my experience in Bocconi, the consolidation of the knowledge and everything I learned there. And the other point I got is the big network, because if you are open to the various events that Bocconi is organizing, you really enrich your network. Mario was showing us where the alumni are working, not the companies, the great companies where the alumni are working. And really you have the possibility to connect to everyone. And I always say I have friends all over the world now, because I have classmates who are working abroad, but also I had the opportunity to meet friends through the chapter leading activity, because what I am doing as well is leading the chapter of the Bocconi alumni in community in Mexico City. And I heard there are a lot of Mexican possible students here. So I really stimulate you to think about and join us, because we are a great community which build the bridge between Italy and Mexico, and also wants to promote the networking with the talents there. So we are really willing to welcome you, both in Bocconi Milano, but also in our community in Mexico after that, or in any other community in the world, because as we said, we are 75 now all over the world. So you have the opportunity to connect. So it's a privilege for me to lead that chapter and also to be here tonight to share this experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you, Paolo. Yeah, it's our alumni are one of the greatest resources we have all over the world, and are the first and best testimonials of what Bocconi can do, and the great achievements that can spark from studies with our university. Before wrapping up, let me just give you a couple information more about okay, I hope you can see the slide now, about how you can keep in touch and know more, so even further deepen your knowledge of our institution. First of all, we have an Instagram account dedicated to prospective students, so meet_Bocconi. This is for students interested in joining. You will see events, you will see a little bit of student life, but also we remind deadlines. So it's a great and different way to have a look at our university. Of course, the website, of course, get in contact with us through email if you're passing by and you want to book a meeting or you want to ask a specific question for your application. We offer, let's say, a variety of activities to help students understand better our institution. Next ones in line are the open day for high school students. So for students interested in joining us for the bachelor, will be on November the 30th, Saturday, November the 30th, both on campus and online. You will have the chance to talk and chat with the directors, with current students, and with all the different services to understand better the institution and, of course, having guidance for your application. We offer open classes and master classes for bachelor and master students online. These help on one side to better understand the field of study, the areas, what does it mean to study that specific field in Bocconi, and also to get a feeling of the type of teaching you can get. Of course, it's not like being in presence, but still can be a good start. And then our Bocconi Meet series continues with also an event in presence. This year will be in Sao Paulo, most likely April the 7th. So mark the date on your calendar, and then of course, having participated to this webinar, you will be updated through our emails. And then the, let's say, most comprehensive experience to know more about the institution, our summer school. Depending on the target, you will be able to stay with us for 3 or for 2 weeks, and we'll be able to attend different courses, stay on campus, and live in Milan, so that when it comes to make the final choice, you have a more consistent element. I think I'm done, so it's time to leave the floor to some questions. I'm sure some are already popping up in the Q&A section.
Stefano, thank you very much for this thorough presentation, and also to the other speakers, especially to the alumni for their precious experience. Special mention to Chiara in the background, who is answering to many of the questions that we have been receiving in the Q&A box. So if you agree, if our participants still have any questions they would like to add to the box, I will give a couple of information. So we are going to share the link to request a certificate of attendance right after we finish with the Q&A session. And also for whoever was asking, we are going to share with you the registration of this webinar. We are going to send you the link tomorrow in an email, so keep an eye in your inbox. So to whoever was not able to come today, if you would like to rewatch it again, and if you want to share it with your friends, we'll be happy to, we'll send you the link by tomorrow. So going back to our questions, we have one actually for Lorenzo. I don't know if Lorenzo, I think he, okay. I think he got disconnected, unfortunately, but it was a question to, okay, Mario, would you like to answer the question that was directed to Lorenzo? It was a question about piece of advice to enter Bocconi. Joe says, my dream is to study at Bocconi. My Italian family here in Brazil has always told me about the university. Lorenzo, but I think Federica will be suitable to answer this question. If you would like to give me some piece of advice, de brasileiro para brasileiro. I hope I read that right.
Yeah, I may take before leaving the floor to Federica. Because there were other questions on this. We don't make differences between the different applicants from different countries at Bocconi. So basically, the selection, as you've seen for the undergraduate programs, is based on quantitative elements, grades from high school, and the test. So it doesn't really matter if you're Brasileiro or Italiano or Spanish. It's exactly the same. So this is a general piece of advice for everybody. I've seen another guy asking, is this a good let's say, score for Latin American students. So there is no good score for Latin American students because it's the same score for everybody. It's pretty competitive, but there are no differences based on the nationality nor on the country of the school, and we have no quotas as well. So we don't limit the number of applicants from a single country. So far, we don't have that problem. There is big, as Stefano said, people from all over the world in Bocconi from several nationalities, and we don't have that problem. Sorry, Federica, if you want to do a bit more from Brasileiro to Brasileiro.
Yeah, no, I think like I had to like do the transcriptions and the years of school here in Brazil a little bit of different as well. But I was able to validate the last year of kindergarten because here we already learned how to write and read. So I was able to declare the last year of kindergarten as the first year of school. So that's something specific about Brazil, which is able to do. So you don't have to do like the first year of university here in Brazil. But if you want other tips, I can leave you my number. If you want to WhatsApp me, we can talk a bit more so I don't take all the stage here.
Okay, thank you very much, Federica. Together with Chiara, Mario was also answering to many questions in the background while the other colleagues were presenting. So Mario, is there anything else that you find it could be useful for the rest of the participants, given that you have been doing this Bocconi Meets events for so many years? I also said, related to what you were explaining before, someone asking if a letter of recommendation from a Bocconi alumni could be useful in the application process.
Yes, no, there were many questions on the competitiveness to enter Bocconi. Indeed, in the recent years, we've been increasing a lot the number of applicants, and this led also to let's say, an increase in the quality of the applicants. So it's more difficult to enter Bocconi. To give an example, in the last early session that we just had last month, we tripled the numbers of 4 years ago. So basically, Bocconi is living, let's say, a boom in terms of applications, in terms of recognition all over the world, and that makes it difficult to say. We've seen many questions from the students, which is a good SAT score, which is good GMAT score for the masters. So it's very difficult to say because every year is very competitive. What I can say is that you work on the elements that we evaluate. For example, for the bachelor, you have to work, of course, on high school grades and on the tests. So you have to improve, either if you're doing the SAT or if you're doing the Bocconi test, you have to improve a lot in order to be more competitive. The same applies to the master level, even if the master level has a more holistic application. So for the master level, yes, the statement, the motivation letter, the CV, the video interview are very much considered. Whereas the model of selection that we had at the undergraduate level is the one I mentioned before. So it's based only on quantitative elements. So this is very important because it's the opposite as they select in the US, for example. The US have an holistic approach. We don't. I mean, good or bad, this is a policy of the university. It's more objective, of course, but at the same time doesn't, have the full picture of the candidate. So pros and cons, but this is the way we work. Yeah.
Maria, let me add a couple of, let's say, more suggestions. The first one, as I already mentioned, is try to apply early. There are more places available, more scholarships available, and you will have more attempts since you can apply more than once. So this is one thing. And then if there are more programs that are appealing for you, that are overlapping among the different programs, there are different flavor on same fields, take advantage of the multiple choice that you may do, okay? Up to 4 for the bachelor, up to 5 for the master. So because you will be evaluated for more programs and you never know which will be more competitive in the specific year. So these two can be 2 suggestions apart from the most important thing, as Mario says, concentrate on the element of the evaluation.
Okay, thank you very much, Stefano.
There
yes,
was
Mario, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, there was another question about how to prepare for the test. I don't remember if we had it in the slide, but starting this year, we have a new app which is being designed by a company which has an agreement with Bocconi. So this is the first time ever. The app is called The Faculty. So very easy, The Faculty. So everybody can download it and can, exercise on our test. For the undergraduate students, I'm talking. We don't have it yet for the graduate application. So this is very, very, very important. So I've seen how to prepare for the test. We do have that one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Stefano. We have questions coming in. Okay, let me see. There was another question about assistance on a specific case. Just keep in mind that, of course, the personal situation is better to ask them directly to the admissions team. Chiara shared on this question the email for the undergraduate services. So I will put it right now on the chat for everyone, and then you can take also the information that Stefano shared on one of the last slides with the contact information. Again, you can recheck it tomorrow when we send the registration of the video. There you will be able to check it and scan the QR code. So, okay, I see we have more questions coming in. We have a question for Chiara. I think Chiara I want to apply for 2026, but I would like to apply to the summer camp in July 2025. What are the requirements to obtain a scholarship or financial aid in a graduate program? Stefano, do you have any detail you would like to remind our participants on this matter?
Okay, so for the graduate program, students may get a merit scholarship, and this will be awarded taking into account their application. Okay, as we saw, the application is based on competition among the other team. So the top student will get an offer of a merit scholarship. It may range from 50% up to 100% of the tuition and fees. So again, try to be on the top students in terms of academics, and then make the most to stand out with your CV and with your other elements of the interview and the personal statements. Okay. While for the bachelor students, the majority of the scholarship are based on financial needs. So in this case, students will need to send proof for their financial situation.
Okay, thank you very much, Stefano. And something else that Mario was answering privately, but I think it could be interesting, even though you have mentioned it. In which countries is the Bocconi LLM valid?
Yeah, this is a very tricky question because it depends on the job you want to do. I mean, if you want to be a lawyer somewhere else outside Italy, this is not the program you need to have, because it depends really on the regulation. Even in the United States, you have differences between the different states. So it really depends on what you want to do. Our LLM is very specific. We have a couple. One is European Business and Social Law, so it's very European. And the other one is law of internet and technology, so very specific on those disciplines. So very, very likely these LLMs are used to work either in Europe or in the, let's say, European organizations, or in the companies. So it's not related to, let's say, a law like a lawyer, let's say, path.
Thank you very much, Mario. Another interesting question I wanted to read out loud. It says, do you think it's hard to get a formal job after graduation if you're not a EU citizen and you don't speak Italian? I guess they mean in Italy.
Yeah, it's very good question, this one. Basically, Bocconi is very well recognized institutions. So the number I shared about the placement of our students in Italy and outside Italy, it's incredibly high, incredibly good, because everybody in Europe knows Bocconi. So this gives you an idea of the possibilities of our students coming from Bocconi. The companies, know that you're a good candidate, a good student, and you're very well prepared. So they are more keen giving you offer of staying, like working on the visa. Keep in mind that 1 year and up until 1 year after graduation, you can work on using the study visa basically. So after 1 year, in that year, after graduation, you wanna, convince the company you're working for or another company to help you with the work visa afterwards and giving you the opportunity. That happens very frequently, so it's very, very rare that the student is forced to go back because of lack of opportunities. About Italian spoken in Italy, this is the same in France with French or Spanish, even though a large part of Latin America doesn't have that problem with Spain. The thing is that you basically have more opportunities. If you speak Italian, you have more, companies, institutions that you can work for. If you don't speak Italian, you have a narrower, let's say, range of opportunities. This is, statistical. It's like that.
Yes, and specifically more languages opens more opportunities to you. Of course, if we're
Absolutely.
talking about the language of the country you would like to work in. So going to the last questions, what is the recommended rating for the Bocconi test?
This is always a very tricky question, and it goes with the SAT question. So as I said before, Bocconi is becoming very much competitive in recent years. So I would say for undergraduate applicants, starting from the SAT, I think being in the 1400 starts to be very competitive score. Below, it's a bit more struggling. This doesn't mean that you don't have chances. It really depends on the round, on the year. It's not it's not always the same. The Bocconi test, I would go in the 35 out of 50, something like that. But this doesn't mean that with the 30 you're not in. It really depends. There are also differences between the different degree courses you're applying for. Of course, students applying for the mathematical and computing sciences for artificial intelligence course very often have an average SAT or Bocconi test higher score, even if there are not as many as the applicants for the management program. It really depends. It's not easy to answer. Also, keep in mind that the test is 55% of the evaluation process. The other 45% is grades. So it's really, you have to find the right balance.
Thank you very much, Mario. I see Stefano taking care of the last question we have on our Q&A box. In the meantime, while I share the link to obtain the certificate of attendance, I would like to invite also Federica and Paola to the floor here. So, and I can ask all of you to give a final message before we close to these prospective students to join Bocconi. I don't know who would like to start, maybe Paola?
Yes, so I really invite you to join Bocconi. It's a fantastic opportunity to have an international environment, to learn a lot, and to build a great network, because as I said, that's one of the greatest gifts beyond the academic excellence. Join us.
Thank you very much, Paola. Federica?
Yes, I can give you the same advice. You should join Bocconi. It will be amazing. It's an amazing experience, an amazing university. Milan, it's an amazing city, and you won't regret it for sure. And if anyone wants to speak with me, I'm available.
Thank you very much, Federica. Stefano?
I'll use a slide even for this simple question. So this will be my final remark.
Arrivederci, Milano. Thank you very much, Stefano. And now, last but not least, Mario.
Thank you for coming. Muito obrigado, muchas gracias. It's been a great pleasure, and thank you, Lucia, for hosting us here.
Thank you, and to Bocconi University for the opportunity to host once more this event in partnership with Docsity. On behalf of all, I would like to thank to our participants, especially to the ones that stayed until the end. You have on the chat the link to request your certificate of attendance, and keep an eye on your inbox to receive the email with the video for tomorrow. So thank you all very much again, and also to Stefano, Mario, Federica, Paola, and Chiara in the background. And we hope to see you again in the next events organized by Docsity in partnership with Bocconi University. Have a nice evening, buenas noches, buona noche, e buonasera.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.